In life, we see working part of the world. Great people like R. Kawazimi, who invented algorithms. Globally, Newton, Henry Ford, the Wright brothers, Albert Einstein, and Elon Musk. See, you are in rush. You want to go to places that nobody has been. You are reinventing a certain industry. From a rocket industry, that's SpaceX, to the car industry. What's your life mission? What do you do, whatever you do? Sure, first of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. And I'm having a really great time with my kids in Dubai. It's really fantastic. Anyone hasn't been visiting, what a great city. Thank you. And in terms of motivations, I used to like this sort of kind of long version of explanation, but essentially when I was a kid I was wondering what's the meaning of life. Like why are we here, what is all? And I came to a conclusion that what really matters is trying to understand the right questions to ask. And the more that we increase the scope and the scale of human consciousness, the better we're able to ask these questions. And so I think there are certain things that are necessary to ensure that the future is good. And some of those things are long-term, having long-term sustainable strength and long-sustainable energy, to be a space exploring civilizations, and for humanity to be out there among and be a multiplanetary species. I think that being multiplanetary species and being out there among the stars is important for the long-term survival of humanity. And that's one reason kind of life insurance for life collectivity. But when the part that I find personally most motivating is that it creates a sense of and makes people excited about future. If you consider two futures, one where we are forever confined to Earth until eventually something terrible happens, and another future we are out there many planets, maybe even going beyond the solar system, I think that space invasion is incredibly exciting and inspiring. Then there needs to be reason to get up in the morning, life can just be about. Otherwise, that's the point. There's gotta thing that people find inspiring and make life worth living. So what is life for you? I mean, you look at our life, and I heard you before speaking. Is it a dream? Is it real? Is it a million deal? Where's your life for Elon Musk? I find that I guess older, I find the question to be maybe more and more confusing and troubling and uncertain. Particularly when you see an investment of something. 40 years ago you have video game, and the most advanced video game would be like Pong, when you had two rectangles and a dot. And you like betting it, I play it, yes, me too. Us all insult you a little bit. We both play the same game. And that's why a pretty fun game at that time. But now you can see a video game that are photorealistic, almost photorealistic, and millions of people playing. And you see where the things is going virtual really. And augmented reality. And if you extrapolate that out in the future, like keeping 0.1% of something like that a year, and eventually those games will be indistinguishable. There is a realize that you won't be able to tell. That's the game reality we know it. And then it seems like, well, how do you know that didn't happen? And thus you know those game old selves. Interesting. I mean, it could be. Everything is possible in life. I mean, particular life things tend to be accelerating to something, isn't it? I mean, if we look at our life, it seems in the past 100-year life has been accelerating. In the past 20 years, it's getting faster. Is it more slow? So many question is how life in 20, 30, 50 years from now. Our education, our transport, how do you see it? Well, I think it's one of those things that are quite difficult to answer. When you think, say, the first controlled power flight was in 1903, when the Wright busted. And then 66 years later, we put the first people on the moon. I mean, if you ask people, say, in 1900, what are us landing in the moon, they would say that that's ridiculous. And if you try to talk to them about it, they wouldn't know the heck you are saying, or you are talking about like this sounds crazy. But today with $100 device, you can video conference with anyone in the world. You know the side of the world, if you have a Wi-Fi connection, it's basically free. You're free to have instant visual communication with anyone. And over millions of people, with the social media you can stimulate, so you can Google everything and ask any question. Like an oracle, that you can ask almost question and get an instance. It would be incredibly difficult to predict these things, even related to recent past. So I think the one thing we can be quite certain of is that my predictions we make today will be wrong. That's sure. I think directionally. I can tell you what I hope in the past were opposed to be what it will be. This may just wishful thinking. I mean, I hope out there Mars and maybe beyond Mars, Jupiter. I hope we travel frequently throughout the solar system, perhaps prepare information to nearby star systems. I think all of that is possible in 50 years. And I think it's going to be very exciting to do this. And I think there is in autonomy in artificial intelligence advanced tremendously, like actually quite near term. My guess is probably 10 years. It will be very unusual for cars to build that are not fully autonomous. 10 years from now, yes, I think almost cars will be able fully autonomy. It's about 10 years. And it is the Tesla cars that have a sensor system necessary for all autonomy. I think probably enough compute power to serve than a person. It's mostly just question and unloading. It turns out more compute power is needed. Can easily unraid the computer. So it is a Tesla built in October last year. Another manufacturers. So getting car will be getting in an elevator. You just tell it where you want to go and it takes you there. The extreme levels. And it will be normal. That will be now normal. And elevator used to be elevator. There will be a guy. And you press the button and take it for granted. so autonomy will be widespread? I think the one most troubling question is artificial intelligence. I don't mean narrow AI like vehicle autonomy I would put in a narrow AI. It's not really trying to achieve a certain function. In deep artificial intelligence, what is some things called artificial general? Thus, you can have AI that's much smarter than smartest human on Earth. And I think it's a dangerous situation. Very dangerous. I mean, there's two views. One view of artificial intelligence will have humanity. And there's another school that thought that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. What it is, I think it's both. It's like one way to think of is imagine we're going to be visited. Imagine you are very confident that we are going to be visited by a super intelligent aliens. In let's say 10 years or 20 years at the most. Super intelligence, so you think within 20 years, we will have aliens on Earth? Yeah, digital intelligence will be like an alien. But the question is, do you think there is other intelligence life outside the Earth? It seems probable. I think this is a great question in physics and philosophy. Where are the aliens? Maybe they are among us, I don't know. Some people think I am an alien. Not true. Not true. It may be we are aliens. Maybe we are aliens. I mean, if you look at this part of the world, yeah. I believe the human beings are not from Earth. They came from somewhere else. Even Adam came from somewhere, and in a way, human beings are alien to this land. Do you think we'll make contact with aliens within the next 50 years?